A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And in this channeling session, for this session, the title is Divine Masculine Gives All His Attention to the Divine Feminine. So for all this while, one of the things that the Divine Feminine really wanted from the Divine Masculine was his attention. And in this message, I have been told that the Divine Masculine is giving all of his attention to her. She is his number one priority. She is the mission of his life. Being with her gives him purpose. Earning for her gives him purpose. Supporting her gives him purpose. Being there for her gives him purpose. And all of these things he had been wanting to do for a long time. He wasn't able to do it because there were blocks, because there are wounds, traumas. This is actually for all of those people who have been in a long separation. So when the Divine Masculine comes back after the full awakening, complete awakening process, when it's done, he would be a person who will give all his attention to her. All the time. Again, for some of you, it might sound impossible. You would be like, come on, Sunamoon, don't say this to me. This never happens. This cannot happen. He has really given me so much trouble, so much heartache. I have cried a lot. I called him so many times. I messaged so much. Some of you wrote long emails. And he never bothered to reply. He never bothered to reply. Or if he replied, it was just one-liner or two-liner. And the worst case scenario, he would just tell me to not bother him. It really hurt my self-respect because one day he's the one who's loving me, who's the one who's calling me, messaging me. He's like saying, I love you so much, I'm yours, you're the one I wanted. And then suddenly after a fight or suddenly after a problem, he would act like he doesn't even know me. He doesn't even recognize me anymore. That I cannot take. That is impossible to forgive. That is impossible to forget. And that kind of a guy, that kind of a person, giving me so much attention, it's not believable to me. I'm just channeling this question actually, because this feeling, this energy is quite perceivable, especially now, because a lot of divine feminines are actually letting go. They are in the letting go stages. Sometimes the letting go also means that they are walking away from this connection. Now, I have been getting guidance to do guided meditations, create guided meditations for twin flamers. I have not actually come across guided meditations for twin flame journey. I have come across for many other things, for manifestation of money, relationships, this, that, travel, a dream job, so on and so forth. Whenever there is an inspiration, whenever I feel the inspired action will take over me, it will definitely be there. But these channelings are preparing you all to understand and to dive deep into the areas that you have not gone into yet. Or you have to, but you're avoiding it too. So how is this possible? How is he going to give me so much attention? Is the question of a divine feminine. How? Like, what magic will happen? What magic wand needs to be moved all over him? The answer is very simple. But before that, I will share something with you. That the Divine Masculine has been deeply hurt. He has been deeply hurt in the childhood. He needs to heal the inner child. And that healing is happening because of you. You might be thinking, really? Yes, you are the catalyst of this healing that is going on within him. Now, this wound, these wounds, so many wounds. Some of the divine masculines are aware about the wounds and some of them are not aware about the wounds. The ones who are aware about the wounds are mirroring their divine feminines who are doing deep inner work. So as the divine feminine is doing the inner work, he on the other side or wherever he is sitting, he gets those energies where he moves into that zone where he has to match up with the energies, because the mirror has no other option. The mirror has to match up. Mirror has to show the real face. Mirror has to show the real image. It has to reflect what's put onto it. So he figures out, he gets aware, he starts becoming aware of his wounds. When you start becoming more and more aware. So the attention, why is attention such an important word in this channeling? Why is this channeling all about attention? Because, my dear soul brothers and soul sisters, whosoever are carrying the feminine template, feminine energy, you all have not been giving attention to your own self. Now let me tell you what does silence, no contact, no communication mean in the twin flame ascension journey. In the energetic setup, in the world of energy, what does it mean? Silence means that someone is self-absorbed. Silence means the phase of solitude. Silence means you are within yourself. Sometimes we are so engrossed in a song, in a tune, we keep humming it. But maybe we come to a crowded place, we come to a park or we come to a social setup and we don't want to let go of that tune. The tune is so beautiful, so peaceful, so engaging. It is a tune of soul music, soul love. With the source, you are singing a song. So you continue to sing it inside your head. And even if it's inside you, the sound, the music, it has so much power, so much presence. That is inner silence. When you're talking to yourself, when you're in yourself, totally absorbed, you are connected to everything in the planet, maybe the air, water, all the 5 elements. But your mind is gone inside. It has turned inwards. Trauma can come from anything. A wound can come from anything which could be perceived as a small situation for others. I remember when I was in first class, standard 1, I was very, I was a little girl and I was very, in structure also, I was very, small, tiny. Elders used to really love me because, they enjoyed playing with me. Most kids are very adorable. But I remember when I was in first standard and I had fallen sick that day. I was fallen ill and I was going through pain. So I was, creating a lot of havoc in the classroom. Like I was screaming in pain. So my father and my mother were very worried. They gave me some medicine. And after that medicine, I felt little relaxed. So when I was screaming and howling, the teacher was present in the class. And when I went alone, because I'm just a child, I was just a child. Imagine what is a kid when they are in first standard. I remember when I had gone to the restroom, the same class teacher, she saw me in the restroom. It was so shocking for me at that time, and it all came to me when I started doing my inner work, when I started doing my healing work, when I started healing my wounds, my childhood wounds. She gave me a tight slap on my face. She said, you were screaming in the classroom and look at you here. You're like in a relaxed mode right now. Now, I don't know where that came from, and that's why I always say that the role of teachers and parents in a child's life is extremely important. Because that slap that stayed with me, it confused me. I was scared to cry out in pain. I became a child who got scared of crying in pain because I remember that my teacher slapped me after she saw me relaxing. She could have even asked me, "Oh, you're feeling better now. What's up? Oh, you're in the restroom. Are you okay?" Because I remember it was something to do with stomach. And children are so, so innocent, so vulnerable. They trust the world around them. They trust the parents. They trust the teachers. They are not scared of creating a ruckus. They are not scared of crying out loud when they are in pain. And that's how they get everything they want. They get the attention when they cry. They know how to get the attention. But with that one slap, which I never understood, and now I don't even care because I'm not going to take it personally anymore. Why that teacher did that to me? She had her own problems. Maybe she was going through a divorce, or maybe she was just a bad nurturer. That she saw, a child who was ill, who was unwell, whose parents had given her medicine, whose father had specially come to visit the teacher saying that my child is not well. And when she saw me feeling better, she thought that I was pretending. I don't know what she thought, but it was the way she beat me up was really bad, and it gave me a wound. And you know what? I didn't even know it was there. I didn't even know. For many years it was there in my system, but I did not know. It's only when I started going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into myself, then one fine day I just bumped into this situation. And I was like, oh my God, yes, that really hurt me that day. It shut me down. So if this can happen to someone like me, it can happen, these type of things can happen to anyone. Maybe your divine masculine was in school or maybe with friends and someone treated him really badly for a small thing. It can be anything. Don't think that these small things don't mean anything. It could be a football. It could be a shoe. It could be a pencil. It could be a paper. It could be just someone saying something. But it can have a deep wound because children are authentic beings. And when they are stopped from being authentic, they are stopped from being who they really are. And this is done by control, by putting pressure, by acting helpless in front of them, for crying in front of them, for wrong things. I'm saying this again and again, for anything that is unauthentic, it will always have a wrong impact. It will create a wound. So authenticity is the goal of this journey, of this ascension journey. And that's why I talk about the education system is so important. All of these things, you are going to be working on these things later on. Once you heal, it is your responsibility. And even while you're healing, side by side, you can work on these things. The education system is such a business. It is such a sham. It's all about money. It's all about the fees. There's nothing wrong in paying fees. There's nothing wrong in paying money for services. But the way education is treated, it is nothing but a business. Whereas education should not be a business, especially for small children. All of the schools, all of the colleges, they make billions of dollars every year. But they cannot do one small thing for a destitute child or to set an example in the society. The people who are actually running the schools, no one knows who run the school. No one knows who are these people on top who are making all these billions of dollars every year, every month. Due to the lockdown phase, people have seen that it's not difficult to homeschool children or to have alternative studies or to have online education. It's not difficult. Or to do therapies for children. I do have parents who are sending their children for therapies. Because if you can track the wound right away in the childhood, the child is, say, for example, very depressed, very sad. And if the parents are aware enough or the adults are aware enough, they will talk him out or her out of the situation, or they will put them in the right therapy. 20 years, 30 years back, therapy only meant giving them pills. And I have friends in America, in US, who have told me this, that they had very strong focus. The ADHD, which is Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. One of my friends had this disorder and his life was made hell because he was being put on so many pills. He would literally be zoned out. But in reality, he was a very smart kid. It's just that his parents didn't know how to deal with him. He was not paying attention in the classroom. He just did not like to be there. His energy, because a lot of star seeds, indigos, rainbows, the empaths, they are born with a more functional, higher DNA system. The DNA is much more stronger. It has less negative junk DNA, more of the humanitarian DNA. So obviously they don't match with the vibe. They don't match with the frequency that's around them. They don't even notice it. So when they don't notice it, they are labeled as someone with a disorder. And those who have real disorders, those who have actual disorders, are roaming freely, committing crimes and doing all the bad things. And these people who are loving, kind-hearted, genuine human beings, all they don't want to do is they don't want to sit in a boring classroom and do, repeat everything and mug up everything. Mugging up things is never the ideal form of education. Education should be more exercise-oriented, practical-oriented. Theory should be less, practical should be more. And most of the education should be focused on the concept of focused attention right at a young age, so that the child can learn to be independent and learn to heal their wounds on their own as they grow up or if they come. So the Divine Masculine had many wounds like this. I just gave you my example in this channeling. In fact, this example just popped up on its own. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. When I was relaying the channeling, I had other things to speak about. So this popped in on its own, and I still remember that scene. Can you believe it? I remember everything, and I remember having an out-of-body experience at that time. So I could see the child version of me, and I could see the teacher who was, slapping me so hard for feeling better. For feeling better, she slapped me. Can you imagine? So I got so confused. What should I behave like? Should I cry when I'm in pain, or should I feel better, or should I hide feeling better? Should I continue to cry, or should I just be mum? These are the things that silence the children eventually. Children don't want to express anymore. So same things can happen with the Divine Masculine. He doesn't want to express anymore. He doesn't want to communicate anymore because he doesn't know. Would he be judged? Would he be slapped? Would he be kicked? Would he be bullied? Would he be rejected? Would he be told that he's totally wrong? Would he be left alone to suffer in silence? What treatment would he get? So this is a defense mechanism. This silence, initially, this non-communication is a defense mechanism, but this is good. Because this will lead to you being silent and doing your solitude and doing your time, doing your work, paying attention to yourself, which you have not been doing. Your attention has been going all to him. With a very long effort, a lot of hard work, you became a person who attracted the Divine Masculine in the first place. You could have been like others, you could have married a karmic in this life too, and then you would have been born again and again and again with more karma or less karma or whatever was the concept. But you did do the inner work with all your focused attention, with all your willpower, and then you got awakened, and that initial awakening, that introduction led him to you. So you have to be grateful for that. And gratitude will create more of that energy. Complaining will create more of the complaining energy. So when you have this gratitude energy, then you have to be thankful that at least I'm with my twin, at least I met my twin. Okay, we are in a fight mode, or we have broken up, or we are separated, or this and that, but I met him and he knows about me and he loves me too and I love him too. It's just that we have some differences to work out. You have to make it very simple. You can't make it so difficult. You can't react so much, because your reaction will increase his reaction. So this is where I will end part 1, and I will continue this channeling in part 2, and I will meet you soon. So one love and peace out.